Hi everyone, it's Bex, Planner UK on Instagram here, and today I am filming my mid-year journal update. So I'm going to be talking through what's working and what's not. I do have lots of different journals for lots of different purposes, but that works for me. So I will talk through and maybe you will understand a little bit more about my system, and I'd love to hear more about your journaling style and how you like to journal. Do you just have one book or do you have multiple books with different purposes? So let's get going. So this here in my apricot B6 veg tan leather Moterm cover is my Stalogy, my B6 Stalogy. So this is what I journal in every day. Now that PlannerFest, JournalFest, StationeryFest are out of the way, I'm back to my daily creative journaling. You'll see on the front, I have unfortunately got an ink stain in there, which I'm trying not to get too hung up about. It is a shame, isn't it? But it just shows how used and loved it is. That's what I keep telling myself. So I've just got a black Stalogy here. It's getting very chunky now. And I'll just move that out of the way. And I'm a good way through my Stalogy. It is the first Stalogy that I've had, and generally I'm really enjoying it. I like the size of B6. I have found that some fountain pens actually do feather a little bit. It does seem a little bit, I don't know, not standardised in terms of the fountain pen performance really. But many of my fountain pens, I think, seems to be fine. So obviously I'm just focusing more on using those, and it's only a very few inks that maybe have misbehaved. So at the front, I won't do a full flip through because that is to come when this book is filled, but I've just got my word of the year. I'll just quickly flick through. So it's very visual. I love using washi tape and stickies and random bits that I found, magazine clippings, etc, etc. So lots of writing, but lots of visual elements as well. So that is my creative journal. I do love having the freedom to write as much or as little as I wish every single day. I have spent many years writing in a dated journal where you have like a page a day, which is generally fine, but obviously there are many days when you want to write more than that. So I do like that you have that continuation and you can keep going as much as you wish. I also like that I can decorate ahead the pages. Sometimes I don't actually want to write, I just want to decorate and stick things down and cut things out and make it look pretty and put washi tape down and things like that. So I do love the freedom that I can do that. Whereas if it was a daily page, I'd maybe be thinking what's relevant to this day, and I maybe would be more reticent to do that and to stick things down ahead of time. So yeah, it's getting very bulky. I do like the crinkly pages, and yeah, I will do a flip through in full when I maybe get to the end of the Stalogy, or maybe before, but it kind of makes sense to wait until it's full, doesn't it? So that is the journal that I'm using every day. So I love the cover and I love the Stalogy, and I actually bought some more B6 Stalogies from JournalFest, from PlannerFest. I've actually got one in blue, one in yellow, one in red, which I'm really excited about. So I've got those lined up, but there was a really good deal on that from the Analog Shop UK at Lancaster, who were one of the businesses that were at the event. So I have that sorted, ready for the future. Let's move on to the next. Next is my memory keeper. So I am using the Avec version of the B6 Common Planner, and I have it in this Moterm cover. Now, memory keeping, I started off really well, kind of weekly pages, really full, really busy, kind of documenting. It's like a family memory keeper, really. And so I started off really well, but then, as you can imagine, as things got really, really busy with PlannerFest and JournalFest, and I had very little free time, that's kind of gone by the wayside. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and backfill maybe over the summer if I have a little bit more time. I'm going to try and stick lots of photos in, which at the moment there's not many photos in there. And I've got lots of artwork from the children as well, which I would like to save. So even though it might be not on the right date, it is the right kind of time period. So I will just stick that into here. So I'm quite excited about that, having a little project maybe over the summer. And again, I really like using my fountain pens in this because it is the Common Planner and it's really good. It's on the Sanzen Tomorrow River new paper. So this is the other half of my Avec, which is in this Gilio cover that I got second hand, which I absolutely love. Isn't it gorgeous? But I'm a little bit torn really because I haven't actually started using this really. And so it's the second half of the year. Obviously, I don't want it to go to waste. So I don't know whether to, again, start memory keeping for the family for the last half of the year and to use it for the purpose that it was originally intended, or perhaps whether I might use it more for personal development. I definitely want to practice some of my layouts for next year, because next year I am getting the B6 Common Planner dated, which I will use for PlannerFest, JournalFest, StationeryFest, as I have done this year. But I also have already received my undated B6, which I'm going to use as my academic planner, so for my day job. And I can obviously date the pages and start using it whenever I need to, which will be around September time. And I'm quite glad that I'll have that freedom, and it will just give me a little bit more space to write meeting notes and important information in the back, and I can write in fountain pens, and I will use that alongside my Kimball still. So, but anyway, more about my future plans and my lineup for 24 in another video. But that's just my thoughts on how I might use the second half of the year, the Avec. Obviously, I definitely don't want to not use such a brilliant, beautiful planner and beautiful paper. So I need to make a decision on that quite quickly, really. Some of you might remember that I bought an endless recorder planner as well, and I think I said on Instagram at the time I don't need it, but I really want to try it because it is really good with fountain pens. So again, I've got this in this beaten up Crazy Horse, I think it's a Galen leather cover, again, that I got second hand. You know, look how much it's weathered and aged. So the endless recorder planner, I started out really well, writing a page a day. The one thing that I really loved about this planner is I did the headlines. So the headlines, I used the monthly view just to pick out one headline from that day. And it was a really great way to show off different fountain pen inks. And in fact, the monthly view is at the start of each month. So just let me flick through to February. Yeah, so here's another one as well. So I do really love that, and I do want to incorporate that going forward. I think that gives a good kind of juxtaposition, doesn't it, of what's happening in the real world and what's happening in our personal kind of life, and it kind of gives a bit of context. And I suppose that's how I started out with journal history through the pandemic as well. I like to have that, although it sounds a bit grim, but the statistics and the headlines of the day, what was happening in the world, and then obviously I could compare and contrast that to my life through the pandemic as well. So even though things are back to normal, I think it's just nice to have that understanding and to kind of report on history and what's happening in the world, really. So again, I don't want that planner to go to waste. I will use that up. I probably will start using that more for my ink samples, and yeah, I need to find a purpose. So any top tips for how I should get back into using that, please write it below. And yeah, I would really appreciate that. So I definitely don't want it to go to waste, and I would prefer to use it this year with it being a dated planner rather than having it hanging around into next year as well. But yeah, highly recommend this if you do write with fountain pens. It does, the paper is really, really good. And yeah, because I got it partly into 2023, it was a really good offer, really good deal that I got, which was why I was so tempted by it, even though I didn't really need another planner. Okay, next we will go on to, again, another one that I've posted on Instagram. I got 2 really cheap planners from Sainsbury's, again, quite far into the year. And I just love this. I think were they £1 each or something ridiculous? And there's another one that was like a 2-tone green and pink colour. And what I use these for is just stream of consciousness writing. When I do stream of consciousness writing or morning pages, my writing is so messy, like more messy than it normally is. And I can barely read it myself, but that is important in terms of the flow of getting my thoughts out, getting them on paper. The purpose isn't to go back and read that. The purpose is just to kind of free my mind and get out thoughts and ideas and see what comes out on the paper, really. So having these really cheap planners was perfect. And again, I ignored the dates. I didn't get them well into the year, and it doesn't matter. I just write the date at the top and then just write 3 pages or what have you within it. So I do like the fact that these are so cheery. Obviously, I could quite happily just burn these or throw these away at the end of the year, but they are really, really cute, aren't they? So like that yellow and that font, I just love it. Really nice. Next, then, I still have my Commonplace book, which is in this beautiful cover, which again was secondhand. So this is my Commonplace planner. I know people use their Commonplace for different purposes, but for me, this is to record information, particularly from books that I'm reading, that I don't want to forget, that I want to be able to refer to. So I want it to be together in one place. It's sometimes facts or interesting things. So I've just got it in this really thick, cute little book with gold edges. It's just plain paper inside, and it's just pages and pages of notes and things that I think are important and I want to be able to refer to. So yeah, mostly it's from the books that I read. I do like reading non-fiction books, particularly business books, self-development books, things like that. So although I don't have loads of time to read, I do like to make notes, and this is where I put those notes. The final journal then that I'm going to show you is this beautiful journal by Scurry and Peck. My sister bought it for me after the first PlannerFest. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's got different pages within. It's got a beautiful inside cover, and it just feels so soft and lovely. So this is what I had already started doing junk journal January, junk journal July previously, and obviously currently I'm doing junk journal July. So this is the book that I am using for it, and again I will share some more pages on my Instagram, and perhaps I'll maybe do a flip through quickly in a future video as well. But that really is the final journal in my collection. I think that's quite enough, really, isn't it? How many have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you count obviously the 2 halves of the Avec version of the Common Planner. Wow, that's quite a lot. Okay, anyway, I hope that you found that interesting, and I would love to hear your journal style, how many journals you're using, please tell me I'm not the only person that's using a ridiculous number of journals. I do like to have that differentiation and different purposes, but please also give me your ideas and hints for how I should use the second version of my common planner avec, and also my endless recorder as well, to make sure that they get utilised to their full potential, because they are beautiful books and I want to make use of them. So thank you for watching. Happy planning, happy journaling, and I will be back very soon with the next video. Thanks.